Hey, I'm Dr. Onicki with CellGen Regenerative Medicine. I want to talk with you for a moment about why are we seeing so many medical doctors choosing not to practice anymore? Why are they getting out of practice? Not retiring, but just deciding it's not what they want to do anymore. So I've got an answer to that question. Let's start with this. I want you to imagine for a moment if you went to see your medical doctor and while you were there, you told them that the reason I'm here today is because I feel amazing. I feel fantastic. I've got tons of energy. I sleep like a baby. I got great bowel regularity. I hardly ever get sick even though everybody else around me is constantly leaking green all over the place. And I want to stay this way. What can you do to help me stay this way? What do you think your medical doctor would say? When I ask people that question, almost always what they tell me is keep doing what you're doing. Well, come on, doc, you've got nothing to offer me? There's nothing you can do that will help me to hold on to this good health that I'm experiencing? It's always just, well, whatever you're doing, just keep doing that. So what that's telling us is that you can't fit into that model. You can't fit into that system until something is wrong. You've got to have a problem first before they can do something to help you out. Now, some people might be saying, oh, wait a minute, but you could go and you could get physicals, you could get mammograms, things like that. Okay, fine. So we do that. You go get your physical and they find nothing. You get your mammogram and they find nothing. Are you healthier now than you were before? Or did we just find that there wasn't anything that you didn't know about? See, those things are early detection. And early detection is not a bad idea, but they don't actually prevent anything, right? Getting a mammogram doesn't prevent breast cancer. It just might help you to find it earlier. People are starting to wake up to the realization that finding diseases earlier is not as good as preventing them in the first place. And a lot of medical doctors are choosing not to practice anymore because they've gotten frustrated with that. And they realize that all I'm doing is finding people in the later stages of a disease process. Even with trying to do early detection, we're still finding it after it's already there. We're not doing things to prevent illness or prevent disease. And that's what would really fulfill me more. But this thing of just fighting sickness and trying to slow the inevitable isn't really the fulfilling thing that I thought it would be. And so in our practice, our own nurse practitioner came to me saying that she was just realizing that flaw in medicine, that they weren't really helping people to prevent and avoid sickness and disease, that even though we spend so much more on medicine than any other country in the world, we spend 5 times as much per person as any other country in the entire world. And even though we only make up 5% of the world's population, we are consuming about 80% of the world's medication, and we spend more than all of the rest of the world combined on healthcare. And she was realizing that even with all of that access to medicine, we're not one of the healthier countries. We're one of the sicker countries. And that it might actually be that it is that access and availability to medicine that is part of the problem. Because it makes people feel like they don't have to take care of themselves, because if I get sick, there will be a medical bailout, right? There will be somebody who can give me medicine for the diabetes because I chose not to be smart about eating and exercising throughout the rest of my life. So this reactionary approach, it's not very fulfilling, it's not very rewarding to people, and so you see a lot of medical doctors getting out. But instead of getting into something that is proactive and preventionary, whether that be working in a nutrition type of practice, a chiropractic practice, an acupuncture practice, a regenerative medicine practice, or something like that, instead they're saying, you know what, I think I'm just going to go run a tanning salon or something like that. Something that'll help me to pay down my student loans, but where I don't feel like I'm in this system that doesn't have a good answer for me and where I don't fit. So I want you to consider that for yourself. Realize that so much of the healthcare world is really completely reactionary instead of preventing things. And is that really what you want? Do you want to get to things when they're too late, or do you want to find a way to either nip them in their bud or prevent them altogether? And this is an area where regenerative medicine shines. Regenerative medicine can help you to stay away from and avoid that whole painkiller pitfall, that downward spiral of steroids and things like that, by actually finding a problem and resolving it instead of just masking it and treating the symptoms and then hoping that there's a way of treating the side effects and the consequences of that. Like we've talked about in some of our other previous videos, many of these medications do get rid of the pain while you're taking them, but at the cost and at the consequence of your problem becoming worse. So I'd love to see what we could do with regenerative medicine to help you out and to keep you away from that whole pitfall and that downward spiral. So feel free to give us a call, find out if regenerative medicine would be a good option for you. And also, of course, you can always post comments and questions down below. Thanks for your time and attention. We'd love to see what we can do to help out. Dr. Nicky again with CellGen Regenerative Medicine in Savannah, Georgia. Thank you.